Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm doing a vlog project, kind of like a daily diary of my experiences living here on the Desteni Farm. The Desteni Farm is a community in KwaZulu-Natal province, South Africa. Me personally, I'm from Canada. There are some other international guests here. I'm here on a 3-year visa, and the rest of the people who live in this community are South African. This community is currently living on a farm, a physical location with about 12 people, but there is a larger community that's involved in this, let's call it a pilot project experiment of communal living that is very unique and different from what anybody has heard of. And I can say that with much certainty. And as you follow my vlog project, you will learn why. So the people who are here physically on location are responsible for basically running and maintaining the farm, which is a lot of work. I mean, I'm a city girl. I have never been responsible for a house or a property. I've always rented apartments and been with other people. It's never been my role or responsibility to have to take care of the myriad of things that I never even considered when it comes to owning a property and a house, and not to mention that this is a large, well, it's 7 hectares, and there are four houses and then a couple outbuildings. And so, yeah, maintaining the property, which takes up quite a bit of time and energy. And then it is the hub here on the farm. It's where the websites and all the online work is managed and basically maintained. So this is where the online community comes in. We have courses and videos and websites that we create here on the farm, and we have people from all over the world that access these materials. And this is what I used to do when I was living in Canada. And they are participants in the courses that are offered. They're also not only participants but facilitators. And we have people who live all over the world that help out with content and managing and what's called buddying, because the courses here are they're self-development courses, and what they include is a buddy, meaning a real live living person who does the weekly chats to help with the coursework or just general life challenges, obstacles, difficulties. And this is because when you're doing any kind of self-work, so self-development, self-empowerment, self-understanding, what we've discovered is that it's necessary to have a cross-reference, another person to bounce things off of, because what we're dealing with is our own minds. And that space, between the ears right there is somewhere where you can easily get lost, manipulate yourself, lie to yourself, hide, avoid, have ideas of grandeur. It's almost like, our minds are almost like a child that is loose in the world without any authority. And that's what we seek to develop here, is your own authority to actually take back, I will say control, but it's more like a self-mastery of your own mind, to develop it into your greatest strength and tool and asset to work alongside with your body and your beingness. So I'm not going to get into those aspects right now, because what I really want to talk about in this video was just the community and daily life and my experiences here. So that is basically what comprises the day-to-day living here on the farm, maintaining the physical property and maintaining the online ventures, and keeping in touch with the community and running the websites. So day-to-day life here, for me, is like, in one way, living in a little slice of heaven, because I am surrounded by people who are like-minded, who want to improve themselves, and who are dedicated to supporting others to do the same thing. I mean, the grand goal of self-improvement is improvement of this world and our humanity, within the understanding that we cannot change the world unless we change ourselves first. I know that's like a cliche, but if you really look at what that entails, um, there's never been a structure, instructions, step by step how to's for what that actually means and looks like, and how to actually do that self change. Because if you look at the world and reality today, goes without saying that things are pretty messed up and they're not getting better. And what is this reality but an outflow of the actions of billions of people? Together, we create this world, and it is a sobering and tough pill to swallow, to fathom taking on complete and absolute, sorry, self-responsibility, meaning taking responsibility for yourself in every way you possibly can. And, this goes into feelings and emotions, self-limiting beliefs, perceptions, judgments, reactions, personalities and characters that we play, the masks we wear, what's really going on deep within ourselves that's different than who we are as we present ourselves to society and each other. So being with a group of people that is developing this understanding and the to me, you might notice when you try to change yourself or act differently than you were because you're changing a habit, or repeating pattern behavior that you've always done or been. Generally, what you face in regular life, society, and culture is friction and conflict, because it kind of throws people off for many reasons. Um, and right now, I'm living in a community where this type of behavior is expected. So I might, notice something about myself that I want to change, and I'll do writing about it, personal writing, and I will kind of structure a way to actually live that change, which means, one day I might be one way, and then slowly over time, I'm doing these things to change myself. I'm experimenting basically with different ways and of how to be. And the community within which I live is not only completely understanding, non-judgmental, but also supportive. And I can share, I mean, I hate to say this, but it's weird. It's weird when you talk about who you are within yourself and you get really deep and talk about the reality of, the internal world, that it's weird because it's not normal in normal society to go there, and it makes people uncomfortable because we're just not used to it. So it's a little slice of heaven right now where I live because of that. And it's a beautiful environment in South Africa with cool ecosystems and plants and insects and beautiful weather. And I mean, it gets cold and stormy and everything, but generally it's just a beautiful environment here. But there is also the other side of that coin, where this is also the most challenging environment that I've been in, because what's been taken away from me when I decided to come here is all of the distractions of daily life, working, responsibilities. Not that I don't have responsibilities here, and not that I don't work, but it's not the same, because it's not imposed upon me by some outside source telling me when I need to show up to work and what I need to wear and what tasks I need to do. So what I'm calling this is self-movement, where I actually have to move myself, structure myself, motivate, discipline, push myself to be the best that I can be without anybody um, babying me, mothering me, disciplining me, instructing me, telling me what or how to do it. And so, with that taken away, and also what's been taken away, or what I left behind, is I came from a world where the normal state of things is that we kind of all act, we play roles, um, we present ourselves a certain way, and that's not necessarily who we actually are. And we also learn how to interact with each other based on these roles, and you come to expect the same kind of behaviors. But here, with everybody working on their inner process of self-change, those roles are gone. And it sent me for a loop for quite some time to, I would be playing out my role that I had developed, my roles, my characters, my personalities that I had developed myself as, back at home, and be expecting the same responses that I've always had. And instead, I'm getting something completely different. What I'm getting, the only way I can describe it, is mirrors all around me, where what it feels like is people are reflecting my behavior back to me simply by not reacting to it. So, if you get incredibly irritated and pissed off and angry with somebody and they just stand there unmoved, they don't kind of go into that with you and kind of also react and start feeding it, and then you together make this big dramatic scene. That's just an example of playing roles together and kind of going into reactions and just accepting them, allowing them, as if that's the only way it can be. Now imagine that person that you're yelling and screaming at and angry and frustrated with is simply unmoved, simply stable and practical and using just common sense and unemotional. What you're left with is yourself and your reaction and who you are within that. So that has been very interesting for me to basically just be alone within myself, because nobody's playing games with me. Nobody's playing roles. And I love it. I think it's amazing. But it's one of those things where until you actually live it, you aren't gonna know or really understand what that's like. Because so much of ourselves is defined based on these characters we play with each other. So, yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this vlog project, is because with this reality that I'm now experiencing for the first time, I just kind of want to know, like, who the fuck am I? So I know who I am as characters and reactions and all the judgments, emotions, all that stuff, but who am I without that? There is parts of me I've developed, that's there, I can say, okay, I'm this way in this situation and that way in that situation, but a lot of me I have to create or correct. The ways I was, not sure if that's bad grammar, but behaviors I used to have were not beneficial to me. They were not constructive. They were not sustainable. They were not my utmost potential. And so not only do I now have to create myself anew as who I would like to be, but I also have to correct a lot of bad habits and behaviors. And, I say bad, I don't mean they're bad as in a judgment. I just mean that they're not best for me. So this has been the kind of current experience, because it has been a substantial amount of time since I've been here. And in order to really experience what this is like, you can't just do it for a day. This is day after day after day of living in an environment where this is the reality. And slowly, you go through kind of stages of what's going on. Why am I feeling these ways? Why do I feel like all of a sudden I don't even know who I am? And, you go through this process of understanding, and then, little bit by bit, it starts to make sense. And then you go into the correction and creation phase. So I hope you enjoy my videos and follow along. It's really quite amazing, once in a lifetime, fantastical experience that I'm going through right now, and I really want to share it. So just stay posted, and I will continue with my video diaries as often as I can. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.